Yep. All right, we should be live on YouTube. How's everybody doing today? It is about 45 degrees right now where I'm at in Redwood City, California, in the beautiful, glorious, amazing San Francisco Bay Area where I live. I am layered up, as you can see right here. I've got two long sleeve shirts underneath and my long sleeve jacket and all that. And some sweats and ready to rock and roll. It's been about a week or so since I did a Walking with Purpose stream. So I figured I'd try to get one in today because the chance of rain was like below 15% for the first time in a while during this time. So figured I'd take that chance, and lo and behold, it is not raining. And there are some clouds, but not as many as during the stormy time or times. I hope you all had an amazing Christmas. I did put out a video on Christmas Day wishing everybody a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I know we're a few days away from New Year's Day. And in the past, I've always done my best to get back to everyone individually and personally wish them a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Birthday, etc. But those of you that are content creators and entrepreneurs know that once you have a decent sized following and a lot of people are trying to get your time and attention, it's just not possible. It's not feasible. And do I feel guilty about that? I certainly do. I think most decent people feel guilty about it as well, but it's just not feasible. You know, creating content all day, every day, and then getting on your social media and responding to everybody personally. It's a lot of work. Hey, Queen, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. It's great to see you here. Thank you for stopping by earlier and putting the topic in the chat so I don't have to worry about remembering it. You know, when I'm on mobile, I don't have any notes or anything. My super troll just wants my attention. It's the holiday season, Queen. I'll take a minute and address him very briefly here and get to my show because I just don't really care anymore. I don't care the trolls and the haters. I just don't care. This guy is so pathetic again. He creates a sock account because I mentioned something the other day regarding a doctor that my aunt was going to pay for me as a gift to have a hair transplant in my younger days. And it couldn't happen. That's all right. Life goes on. I shave my head. I have a nicely trimmed beard. I wear some nice hats. And I'm happy within myself. But apparently, this one dude on the East Coast, we're not going to get too specific, just continues to watch all my videos all day, every day, thumb down all my videos all day, every day. And I don't care that he thumbs me down because you can't even see the dislike count publicly, right? And like I keep saying, most of them get removed the next day when YouTube and Google filter them out. So I don't care about what he does. It does not bother me. I mention it because this is how pathetic some people are, that they just have nothing better to do than to troll me all day, every day. It doesn't matter what time I release a video. It doesn't matter, how I dress or what I say. This dude is obsessed, and I think there's something really mentally and emotionally wrong with him, as there is with many people, right? And I'm not trying to knock him down or kick anyone else down. There are many people that are struggling with their emotions. There are many people that have mental and emotional issues that need help. And I can try to help you up to a certain point, but I think this guy needs a therapist. I mean, this guy is so far gone. Maybe he's just given up on his life. That, he just gets the most joy trolling me all day, every day. Well, sir. Yeah, but I can't put you guys on because of the YouTube rules. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, guys. You too. Good people. Their dad was walking with them, an older brother, and very nice people. I just told them I can't put them on due to the YouTube rules. They were definitely COPPA age. They were under 13, so you gotta abide by the rules. That thing need to be locked up in a padded room permanently. You see, here's the thing, Queen. Despite what this guy has done to me in the past, and he's done some crazy, crazy things, right? I don't really think deep within he's trying to be a bad guy. I think he's just going through a lot of things. He made some mistakes, right? And because of those mistakes, he's not able to do certain things in his life that define his purpose, so he has to create a new purpose. A super troll on YouTube, which is a pretty pathetic purpose going from the field that, he used to be in, right? And when you have a grown-ass man in his early 50s that does this all day, every day, that says it all right there. Grown-ass man in his 50s, right? These are the types of people that I really would like to help. I'd even help them free of charge because I care about everyone having the best shot at, having the life that they want. We're going to be talking about that here today and, what happened here with him, creating a sock account and then waiting 24 hours to bypass my 24-hour filter, right? Him coming in and doing that, I mean, hey, it's all good. It's all good. Sir, if I could bring some entertainment into your life or help you feel better about yourself or entertain you, like I said, or whatever, so be it, dude. I really don't care. I really don't care what you do. I don't care what anyone does. I've been doing this YouTube thing now full time for almost 5 years. I know the ropes. I know how to handle myself out here. I know how to handle being around people and being live in public and doing live streams and moderating them and all that crap. It's not a big deal. I choose to not let it get to me anymore. And even when it did get to me and I got triggered back in those days, I was trying to help those people because the thing is, the people that do the trolling and do this stupid shit, they're the ones that need the most help. Because no one, whether you're a man or a woman, but more so men troll than women, no one in their right mind is going to enjoy trolling all day, every day on YouTube and other social media platforms unless they have nothing else going on for them in their lives and they see themselves as someone not worthy of having real, true happiness in the real world, right? That's the truth of the matter, right? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to attack anyone. I'm even trying to be nice to the super troll here, and I'm giving him some attention, sir, because you know what? Apparently you need and want my attention. And if I can help you feel better, by letting you take a shot at my expense every now and then dude, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you. That's all good. I'm not triggered. I'm not unhappy or anything. I'm glad I could help in some way, shape, or form. I've made some mistakes in my life and on YouTube in the past, and I learned my lesson, and I've chosen to rise above it and become a better person. You, sir, just haven't chosen to rise above it yet and become a better person, right? Maybe one day you will. I hope you do. I wish you the best on that, man, or with that. In the meantime, I'll just let you know, hey, I got 2 videos coming out every day. One in the morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, and then one at night, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. I think you know my schedule now. Get ready with the soccer counts and thumbing me down. And I'm going to even be putting out some more content over the next few days in addition to those, 2 pieces of content every day. So they'll be coming out in the middle of the day. So just, try to load up your socks and be ready and do what you got to do. Yeah, Queen, I'm not upset or bummed, Queen. The thing doesn't need no attention. I'm not even really trying to give any attention, Queen. I'm just, doing my thing. This is what I do. This is YouTube. This is a part of YouTube. Trolling is a part of every YouTuber's life. This is what we deal with, right? And only one thing matters, Queen. And I've been trying to teach this to everyone that has haters and trolls in real life and on social media or YouTube, for example, right? Okay? Nothing wrong with addressing it or poking fun at it every now and then, right? As long as you don't get triggered, you don't let it trigger you. The key to being successful on YouTube, one of the main things to being successful on YouTube before you can even try to trigger the YouTube algorithm and do all that is to be able to ignore the trolls and haters. Go ahead. I'm waiting for someone to pass and they're on their phone. We got a lot of kids at the park right now. I don't know if they're at the park or if school's back in session. I didn't think school was back in session until, after the first of the new year. Maybe the kids are just at the park playing. It is cold. And some of them are wearing shorts. Wow. It's not a good thing. Got to bundle up during this weather so you don't catch a regular cold. We're dealing with COVID and different variants, especially Omicron, I think is what it's called, how you pronounce it, right? And then you can catch regular colds. Like, you got to keep yourself warm and bundled up during this weather. Still get out there and do things, but wear the right clothing like I do. But, Queen, like I was saying, it's really not that big of a deal. And you got these kids that are just on the sidewalk riding their scooters and their skateboards. They're not supposed to do it on the sidewalk. I respect your opinion, Queen. I always respect your opinion whether I agree with you or not. That's just the kind of person I am, and that's the way I choose to be. My whole outlook on life is to be good to everyone, no matter how they treat me. Because at some point I'm hoping that, the world will see my positivity and it will radiate off to them. And they'll just realize that, hey, being a terrible person, a terrible human being, or behaving in erratic ways is just not a fun way to live life, right? At some point in their life, they will, get tired, and then they'll just, turn themselves around. Eli, you're out there, so show me where they are, the variants. Well, Queen, I will tell you, I didn't go public on this, but, my brother wasn't feeling that great, and he went and got a COVID test. He tested positive. And this was the day after we had hung out on on Christmas with the family. I was with my brother, my aunt, and my mother. Now, I don't have any symptoms, neither does my mother, neither does my aunt. We've all been fully vaccinated. I believe my mother has already gotten the booster shot. I will be getting the booster shot sometime next week. I qualified on December 26th, I think it was. That was 6 months after my second shot of Pfizer earlier on this year. But we don't have any symptoms, but we're supposed to quarantine ourselves when we've been exposed to it. And I've been doing that. It's been really hard because my lady wants to see me and I want to see her. I'm telling her, just be patient. I don't want any of us getting this. We got to be safe. You got to be safe and precautious, or be cautious, folks. I mean, take precaution, which is what I'm trying to say. But still getting out and doing my walks, but I'm trying to avoid people as much as possible. And doing the best I can with what I got. So, anyway, enough fun with the Super Troll, sir. Happy holidays to you and your family. Hopefully you find something that makes you happier than me. That's all I have to say. It's rather comical. Oh well. I just want to move on over here to the other side before I start the intro of the show. I don't want people to look at me like I'm crazy when I get a little fired up, right? I'm trying to be respectful, professional, and mature, like I always say, right? All right, folks, let's get right to it. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition, live from Red Morton Park, chilly Red Morton Park in Redwood City, California. It's about 45 degrees Fahrenheit, in case we have some people from other countries that gauge temperature in Celsius. This is episode number 191. Whoops. I think I might have gone off the air for a second. Sorry, my screen went off for a second, but it's fine now. This is episode number 191. And today's topic is people just don't listen and continue falling apart. One more time. People just don't listen and continue falling apart. Thank you, Queen. She says you're here. So what do I mean by this? Okay. First of all, we're all individuals, and we all are more than capable of choosing what to do and what to say, how to behave at any given moment, right? We all have a choice. So who am I to say that you should listen to me? There's a kid coming over there on a skateboard. Who am I to say, what you should say and do and how to live your life, right? I've never been the type of person that tells people what to do. What I've always been about is helping people get what they want. But in order to get what you want out of life, you got to change your ways of how you're currently doing things that aren't working for you, right? So it's more about you guys and gals out there that are struggling with many aspects of life that I or any other coach can help you with. It's up to you whether you want to listen to us and take our advice or not, right? It's a choice, right? But what I'm continuing to see day after day after day after day whether it's online, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, okay? And even in the real world, what I continue to see are people just behaving in the most selfish and erratic ways. And they're focusing their energy in the wrong areas and on the wrong things, right? And we can all be guilty of this at times because we always want to do things that make us feel better as quickly as possible. If we're going through something, if we're struggling with something, we want to get rid of that pain and that horrible feeling as quickly as possible. So we will, as human beings, usually attempt to take the shortcut to mask the problem, which is exactly what it does. It masks the problem, right? Some people will drink alcohol to mask the problem, right? Some people will, do other drugs. I'm not going to mention them. Sometimes it's marijuana, which is legal up to a certain point for recreation purposes in most states here in the U.S. Or some people will do other illegal drugs to, cure the pain or to, I guess, temporarily give them a little more energy to get more work done. Like some drugs, I've never done any drugs, but I've heard about what they can't do, right? Some people will prioritize other things over essential things, right? And what I mean by that is this. Some people will put their health and safety in jeopardy to do other things that temporarily cure their blues. And I'm going to share a story that a part of it, not the whole story. I'm going to be actually sharing this story in a pre-recorded video I'll be releasing like tomorrow afternoon. And this involves my lady. She may be listening at work right now. Good evening to you, ma'am, or good late afternoon, good early evening to you if you're tuning in. If not, I'm sure you'll probably catch the replay or some of it live on your way home. But she's been the perfect example for lots of content. Not because I'm seeing her, because she's a normal, average, everyday lady trying to survive in this world. This crazy modern digital world we all live in, where women have been liberated, women are independent, and most women will flex their muscles saying, we don't need a man for anything. But the truth of the matter is, after you hear the story about what happened to my lady the other night, more so in a pre-recorded video I released tomorrow regarding another topic, you'll understand how important men still exist and how important it is for both men and women to work together. Both men and women work best together. When we're trying to compete with each other, when men and women are trying to compete and having a power struggle, right? Trying to say that, women are more dominant than men are more dominant than women. When men and women try to compete rather than work together, it creates chaos, right? And without any disrespect, okay, men have always been better at certain things than women, and women have always been better at certain things than men. And when we combine our forces, right, we are something to not be reckoned with. We can be unstoppable, right? Men still understand many things better than most women, such as when it comes to electronics, when it comes to cars, when it comes to safety about their vehicle, right? Etc., right? Women, on the other hand, just want to start the car. Nowadays, they don't even have to put a damn key in the car. Same with mine. Now you just have this fob, you keep it in your pocket, and you just push start your car. You don't even have to put the damn key in there. So women, they just want to push the push start. The car starts, and they pull out and they drive where they want to go to, right? But what don't many women take into consideration? I'm not saying all women. There are some women that are like tomboys and and do understand this, but it's not typical, even in this modern world, right? But what are women not taking into consideration about their car? Let's see. You got to make sure your tires are inflated properly. There's enough tread on your tires so when it's raining, you don't slide and cause an accident and possibly something worse, right? You got to make sure you have enough oil in your car. And at a certain point, you need to get an oil change. And most new cars nowadays, like mine, they tell you your oil life, 100%, 80%. When it gets down to about 15%, that warning comes up every time you start your car. And at that point, you have about 2 to 4 weeks to take it in, depending on how many miles you drive. You got to keep an eye on it, right? Nowadays, cars just tell you what to do. All you have to do is do it, right? But what do a lot of women do when they see those warning messages? They freak out, they panic, right? Because they think their car is like, not going to work, right? So what do they do in that situation? They call their man or a man, right? I guess we're still useful for some things, right? I got to have a little fun with this, okay? So my lady, we haven't seen each other for a little over a week, I believe. And because I've been exposed to the virus and I am quarantining myself, the only place I've gone is to the park to take my walks, and I am doing whatever I can to avoid people, but I still want to get my exercise in, right? So my lady and I haven't seen each other for a little while, and she's becoming to get a little impatient, and I don't blame her. I understand how she's feeling. I miss her too. Babe, if you're listening, I miss you too. I've nothing wrong with saying that, right? But we need to be responsible about this and see, women are emotional beings. Women are willing to just take unreasonable chances because they just miss you and want you there. They want a hug from you, and I get that. I'd love that hug too as a guy. But let's say I were to go see my lady tonight, and let's say, I expose her to the virus. I wouldn't want to do that, right? Your health and your safety are the two most important things in your life. Without health and safety, you have no life, right? If you're not healthy and you pass away, you're not alive. If you're not safe and don't take care of your car and it spins out and gets into an accident, depending on the severity of the accident, it might cost you your life. Why would you want to put yourself in that position? I share this because I want people to start thinking ahead. I want people to start preparing for these situations and become more understanding, especially you ladies. Become a little more understanding. That just because sometimes, you aren't able to do certain things or see your man for a little while in situations like these, it doesn't mean that your man doesn't care about you or want to be with you. It means that your man is still there. I still talk to my lady every day. And wait till you hear this full story when I release it tomorrow in a pre-recorded 30-minute video. I think it was 32 minutes or something like that. I've got it rendering right now on my laptop at home. About 5 hours to render. 4K at 60 frames per second. High quality audio and video. So it takes a little while. Now, I would never ever attack my lady, never talk smack about her. I'm using her as an example because this is somebody I care for. And it's hard for her to understand certain things, right? And even though, we can't see each other right now, and probably maybe not for the next at least 2, 3, or 4 days, we might not even be able to see each other on New Year's Eve. We can talk about that tonight. Doesn't mean I don't care. It doesn't mean I'm not there. Me, quarantining myself in this situation is showing the ultimate care, even though I can't physically be there with her. But see, women don't understand that, or they do understand that, but they're so emotional that they're willing to put their life on the line to be around their man just for that hug, right? Is that hug worth getting the virus and something worse happening to you? Or is it better to quarantine for a few days and see each other next week when we're sure that we're both healthy, and that way we can continue being healthy together for a very long time? Give me a second, I'm passing by somebody. That dude's on his phone and his dog's looking at me. Anyway. This is something else I'm going to do a video on down the road. You know, we have to think for the future, not just for the now. We have to think ahead into the future. And we have to take into consideration whatever we do right now is going to affect us tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now, right? Everything that we do in the present moment affects the future, right? And this is why it's so hard to get women to understand this, because as part of their natural biology, women respond to everything emotionally first based on how they're feeling in the present moment. They don't give a shit about tomorrow or next week, right? They care about the right now. I'm feeling lonely right now. I'm feeling like miserable, lonely, and I need my man to be here and hug me right now. Not tomorrow, not 5 minutes from now, not even a minute from now, right now, right? And to a guy like myself, or any decent guy that thinks ahead into the future and knows that what I do now is going to affect myself, my lady, and everyone else in the future, it's not easy to deal with that. But a guy like me understands why it's happening. I'm not brainwashed by the fake media, Queen. I believe what I want to believe, and I don't believe what I don't want to believe. What else did Queen write? Eli, do you even understand what MK Ultra is? You need to do research on it, and I'm serious. Well, send it to me in the private chat, Queen, if you have any research on that, in the Coach Eli private moderator group on Facebook. I'll check it out later today or tomorrow. So like I said, whatever we do now affects our future. This is what people don't understand, right? And even though it's more so women that, are living in the present moment, and men think about the future, right? That's just the normal differences in our biology between men and women, right? There are some men that live for the right now, and that is not masculine energy. That's feminine energy, right? To you guys out there that are living for the now, let me give you an example. To the guys that are living for the now, right? I've been talking a lot about the millennials lately, and the Gen Zers, the post-millennials, the I generation, right? Okay? And I've also been seeing that Gen Zers are pretty tired of how the millennials have been doing things, especially in the dating world, or how they live their spoiled, entitled lives, right? And I say this respectfully. I really want to help everyone, including the millennials. They're just not open to the help. Why? Because the millennial generation is the most spoiled and entitled generation, period, right? And it's more so the guys. A lot of the women are as well, but it's more so the guys. And why do I feel this is happening more so to the guys? Because the millennial women are getting more college degrees, and they're getting better jobs, they're working harder, and they're making more money, and they have more resources than these millennial men. I'm not saying, all women have more resources than men, but more of them have more resources than most of these millennial men nowadays. And these millennial men just don't know how to react to that, right? So what do these guys do? And I've been seeing this a lot all over social media. A lot of these guys, they sink into depression, right? They come out on social media, they create memes, they come out here on YouTube, they run drama channels, right? And they start getting a little success, right? Start making a little bit of money, right? But what's the problem with that? It's not sustainable long term. And is that the way that you want to live your life? Is that the way that you choose to live your life forever? Is it going to be sustainable? Are you going to be 60 years old, 55 years old, still working and, making memes and talking shit about people on YouTube and, kicking people down like me that are trying to help people out for the right reasons in a positive way, right? I really don't think these millennials, especially these millennial men, really want to do this type of stuff. They just probably feel like they can't do any better doing things the right way, or they don't even really know what the right way of doing things is because of the way they were raised, right? I've been trying to help these people genuinely and legitimately, right? And it's just really, really sad and really, really pathetic. I'm going to mention something here. I'm not going to mention the channel or mention the names because I really don't pay attention that much to the drama. And every now and then I might just kind of, take a peek just out of curiosity to see if these guys have turned their lives around or started heading in the right direction, right? There's one content creator. He's like in his mid-30s. And when he couldn't, get his real content to survive on YouTube years ago, he went the drama route, right? He's still a part of the drama. He's still doing drama shit, right? And he and a bunch of other people, when I used to feed into them and go back and forth, they used to make cartoons on me, right? They used to make cartoons on me and do live streams and talk about me all day, every day, right? I haven't talked about this group or, gone toe to toe and called them out or called them out by name. I haven't fed into them for like a year. It's been like almost a year, or maybe a little over a year, right? And all of a sudden, somebody tells me from behind the scenes, I'm not going to mention who they are, that they made a couple cartoons on me for the holidays. And they did a live stream on me to critique my happy birthday video. Now, I didn't watch their videos or anything like that. I don't need to watch it because I know what the purpose of it is. I know for a fact that, this creator that's doing this doesn't even really want to do it. He's just getting paid to do it by a sponsor, which is why he keeps doing it. And like I said, to him and other people, this is how I handle things now, okay? This is how you should handle it too. I don't care, what you guys do. You want to make cartoons on me all day? No problem. You want to critique my videos? No problem. Have you received any copyright strikes from me lately? No. And you've used a lot of my content. I don't care. Why don't I care? Because I'm laser focused on doing my own thing. Right? And while you may get 500-600 views using my content, right, and doing that stuff, right, the majority of those views are trollish views, right? You got 20 or 30 active people that support you, right? And the funny thing is, most of those people don't even know who I am, right? Most of the people that know who I am no longer follow this person or other people that make content on me, right? So to see them continue doing this, it's really super pathetic, right? There's no value in it, right? They're not getting the same traction they used to get, right? Why? Because I don't feed into it. I don't get triggered. Right now, I'm just sharing a story. Cool, calm, and collective, right? I'm sharing a story as part of the title. Where people just don't listen and they continue falling apart, right? See, I don't get nearly the views these people get, right? But what I can tell you is my views are authentic now. Maybe I'll get 50 to 100 views per video, and I've been rebuilding, right? Slowly but surely. And I'm going to keep moving forward, and I'm going to keep growing slowly but surely, right? At some point, my channel will hit traction with real people that are going to be sustainable long term. What's going to happen to these people that continue relying on the same stupid shit in the past, right? They're going to tap out. What they don't realize is they've already tapped out. They got to go back and start recycling shit and not creating anything new, right? People just don't get it. They just don't get it. Another thing they don't get is that they continue falling apart. I see right now I've got 18 people here because now this dude that I'm talking about without mentioning his name has gone into his Discord, or someone from his group has made him aware and made the group aware that they should come and watch me, right? Right? Is that how this works? Is that how this works? Grown-ass adults. Ooh, Eli's talking about you. Well, I'm talking about him respectfully, professionally, and maturely. Right? Right? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because I could try to help someone like this person, which I have in the past, and all he's going to do is what he's always done, is mock my mature and professional approach. You know why? Because he's insecure. And he's not capable. I wouldn't say he's not capable of doing what I do and being mature about it. He just doesn't want to give up what he has to start over and do something that's more meaningful, respectful, and sustainable long term. Doom, do, 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 doom. That's some deep bass. I can still hear that down the street. Jesus, man. I'm going to wait a second here. There's a older... Oh, no, I think it's a couple of older ladies with their dog, and they're walking very slowly, so I want to wait for them to get a little head start because, gosh, now they're stopping. This is what ticks me off. You got to wait for these people to keep moving, and you got to distance yourself from the COVID thing and all that, especially if you've been exposed to it, right? Even if you think you don't have it. I don't think I have it, but I don't have any symptoms. I mean, I've been a little bit more tired than normal and had a few headaches, but I don't have any of the actual symptoms. I've been waking up feeling kind of groggy, but I'm not taking any chances. It's funny to me. It's funny to me right now. I have 22 people here, and those 22 people are here because of what I'm talking about, right? Now, how would they know that I'm talking about it? Because they're watching me all the time, regardless of what I talk about, right? Kelvin Clymer, how you doing, man? Hey, all well here. I'm stuck at home right now. I caught the infamous sickness, whether you prefer to call it, but I feel all good. And well, are you vaccinated, Kelvin Clymer? Did you get the vaccine, and which one did you get? I'm kind of curious if you got it. Yeah, I've got 2 doses of Pfizer. Queen Helen Casey says, hello, Kelvin. All right, we got a bunch of people coming. Give me a second, folks. We got a lot of people at the park today. It's cold, and a lot of people are here, but they're all bundled up. That's good. It's nice to see them out here. All right, I think we're good. No, I'm not vaccinated. I'm kind of against myself as I'm in good shape and healthy. Oh, you're one of those anti-vaxxers, huh? No worries, bro. It's your opinion. You know? You must be one of those Joe Rogan followers, right? The Joe Rogan method, right? Yeah, see, I'm not here to challenge or attack anyone's principles. I feel the vaccine works and it's something necessary. That's just my opinion. But hey, you know, you feel otherwise, you choose to do for yourself what you feel is right. No clue what that is. Oh, no clue what Joe Rogan is? That's probably for the better, brother. How was your holiday, Kelvin Clymer? How was your Christmas? You spent some time with your family and friends and all that? And he goes, I'm not against it either. Okay, cool. You just haven't decided to take it yet. Okay. No worries. But I feel it is better for me to not. Okay. Cool. All right, man. Everyone gets to choose how they want to live their lives, how they want to show up, and, you know, they get to choose what kind of medication they take and they don't take, right? We all have choices, right? Queen says, no, it doesn't work because it, okay. Yeah, I'm not going to, you folks can chat. I'm not going to read certain things because I want to be respectful to the YouTube algorithm. I don't want to, you know, put my channel in any jeopardy or anything like that. I don't think it would, but I'm just, you know, I'm trying to keep this as clean as possible. And that's the way I actually want to live my life, as clean as possible. You know, that's all I'm trying to do out here with my coaching. Is I want to help people live as clean of a life as possible. Be healthy, be safe, you know, and enjoy life. You know, enjoy life and remove all negativity from it, right? All right, we're at 48 minutes. On my third and final lap, folks, please get any questions, comments, or concerns in the chat. Probably got another 20 to 25, maybe 30 minutes max left on this stream. I'm walking on wet grass because I'm trying to avoid people. Eli, you've chosen fear over faith, and that is sin. Actually, I do have a lot of faith. I am a man of faith, Queen. And I'm actually rather fearless, to be honest with you. But, you know, I've chosen to, you know, believe in the vaccine and believe in the majority. And that's what the doctors are saying. Everybody's different, right? Everybody's different. And I've gotten to the point of where, hey, I'm not gonna challenge anyone's differences or attack anyone. We can always have a civil discussion on anything, but I'm just not gonna challenge you or attack you. And maybe that's why I don't get a lot of traction on my channel because I'm not willing to pick a fight. So that way it creates drama and that type of entertainment, which many people like. I'm just choosing to live a drama-free, cool, calm, and collective life. My mom is vaccinated, and I'm happy for that, Kelvin. Absolutely. Yeah, so is my mom, and I believe she has the booster too. You know, my mom is 71. So, you know, I speak with her regularly and see her when I can. But yeah, she's all right. She's healthy and she's good. It's just my brother got it, and he's feeling all right, but we're all quarantining from him and other people right now. But I still got to get out and get my walks in. If I don't get my walks in, it just affects me, which is why I'm at the park, and I'm also trying to avoid people at the same time. And people would ask, well, why aren't you wearing a mask? Well, how can I do a live stream wearing a mask? You'd be hearing, oh, hey guys, how you doing? This is Eli, and I am, no. Come on, man. They say that if you have 2 shots and fully vaccinated, you're 35% protected against Omicron, or however you pronounced it. And if you get the booster, you're 75% protected. So I'm looking forward to getting that booster ASAP. It's going to be during the beginning of the year. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying. Well, let's see. Kelvin says, why should you wear a mask outside? There's no reason for that. Well, I agree with you on that, bro. And plus, you know, I've got, you know, the first 2 shots, and it's good protection from all the variants. The only one they're saying there's limited protection is the Omicron, or however you pronounce it. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really too worried about it. I'm not really worried about it. I'm just, you know, distancing myself, and I'm still going on with life. I mean, that's what you have to do, you know. Would be something else if you were inside. Sure. No, I get it. Much easier to spread inside. No, I agree, bro. I agree. But anyway, like I was saying a second ago, or a few minutes ago, people just don't listen, and they continue falling apart, right? And a lot of people resort to doing the same thing over and over and over again, thinking that it's going to keep them afloat. And in life, change is inevitable. Things are changing all the time, especially, you know, if you're a content creator, right? You keep doing the same thing over and over again, you know, your audience is going to leave you. They're going to get tired and upset. And they're not going to support you at the same level, right? You got to change things up. You got to make things interesting, right? Like I said before, I'll say it again. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, right? And some people, you know, are in such a bad situation where they're forced to do certain things over and over again that don't make any sense because they're being paid to do those things, and they won't get paid anymore if they don't do those things, no matter how stupid and pathetic it makes them look, right? If you put yourself into that situation, right, you only have yourself to blame. You're the one that accepted the terms of that deal. You're the only one that can remove that, right? But you're just not ready to remove it yet, right? That's okay. It's okay, maybe one day. You know? If you want to use this as content for your channel tonight, tomorrow, because you got nothing else, and do like you did in the past, go ahead. I'm not going to pay attention to it. All right? It's not a big deal. But here's the thing. This is what I want to make clear to everyone out here that continues to be obsessed with Eli. This is what I want to help people with and learn to rise above, right? Is that despite you getting paid to make content on me and cartoons on me, right? The more and more you make content on me, no big deal. It's not affecting me at all. The more and more it shows me and others that you're dependent on my content for your success, right? And I used to say that, but I used to say it back in the days when I would get triggered over guys like this making constant content off of my content, right? The difference now is I don't get triggered anymore. I don't care how much of it they use. I won't flag them. I'll ignore it. I don't care about it, right? But deep within, these people, especially this dude, knows that he's dependent on my content for success and survival. And he's being forced to make content on me because he's being paid for it, right? See, I don't really care about it happening anymore. I've learned to deal with it. But what I do care about is how it's affecting him mentally and emotionally, right? How does he feel about it deep within? And let's say I were to leave YouTube one day, which I'm not. Let's say I were to stop producing content for 2 or 3 years or permanently, right? And did something else, right? What would happen at that point, right? It's not sustainable long term. The situation that this guy has put himself into, this is just for example purposes, the situation he's put himself into is a very unreliable situation. It's a very, very scary feeling for any man to be in this situation that doesn't know what the future is going to hold because of the way they're making their money now, right? I can tell you right now, if this guy started creating content like myself, like he used to create, right? And started doing more positive, uplifting content, he would lose that entire drama audience, and then he would get fewer views than I get, right? But he can keep working at it and grow with a newer, more solid audience that's going to be more sustainable if he wants to work at it. He's just choosing not to, right? It's all good. One day, it'll all come crashing down. Mark my words. And this is one thing that a lot of people freak out about me. I'm very intuitive. Very, very, very intuitive. You can ask my woman that. You can ask anybody that. I'm not psychic, but I'm intuitive. I can almost predict exactly what's going to happen. And whatever I predict and say typically does happen. I'm not just saying that to toot my own horn. People that know me, that I've predicted things about what's going to happen with them based on what they've been through, always come back to me and say, oh shit, Eli, you were spot on, right? So when I predict that, people that do stupid things, people that continue doing stupid things that aren't sustainable long term, when I predict that it's going to fall apart at some point, and it does, see what happens then, right? But instead of waiting for that to happen, right? Instead of waiting for that to happen, how about start making the change right now and preparing for the inevitable, right? That's what I did. That's what I did when I used to be involved with some drama groups, right? I knew my views would go down, and I knew I'd have to start over, and I knew I'd have to work even harder. And what have I done? I've been working harder. I've been putting out 2 to 3 pre-recorded videos per day at 4K, 60 frames per second with high quality audio and video, right? And they're not getting a lot of traction. They're getting about 50 to 100 views a piece. In some rare cases, maybe a little bit more. But the more and more I do that and not give up and keep moving forward in a positive way, eventually my audience or my content's going to hit the right people. It's a matter of time and patience and perseverance, right? Now, speaking about millennials, this is why I use this guy as an example, right? Without mentioning his name, anything like that. But some of the people that know me, that are banned here and know him, they know who I'm talking about. They know, right? Folks, one thing I want to help people learn to better understand and learn to better predict are trends. Trends are very important nowadays. Not only on YouTube and social media, because when you create trending content based on trending topics, you typically get more views and traction, right? But you have to look at trends in all aspects of your life, even your personal life, right? An example, you gotta look at the trend of your dating relationship or marriage or friendships or business partnerships and see where the trend's heading. Is it getting you further ahead? Or is it slowing you down? Or is it destroying you? Right? Or is it just kind of like mediocre in the middle? Is it balanced, right? Okay? You got to look at the trend that's currently happening, or the trends that are currently happening in all aspects of your life. And you need to make adjustments based off of the trend, right? You got to know where to focus your energy. And you have to also look into the future. Like I said earlier, it's more difficult for women to do because women's emotions are always in the present moment. Okay? But even for you ladies you're all liberated now, you got to look at this almost kind of like men, unfortunately. You got to look into the future, right? When you ladies are working and building your own nest eggs, right, you also have retirement plans, right? There's a perfect example of a woman looking into the future, which is outside of her biological and natural essence, right? When a woman has a retirement fund from her work, she's putting away money so she can have money to live off of when she retires, right? Age 60, 65, around that time is when most people typically retire, right? So what I've always done with my life is I always look at the trends. I look at how I'm trending in all important aspects of my life, and I immediately start to focus and make changes on trends that aren't going anywhere, have either just stagnated or are going south, right? Now, the trends that keep moving up, you don't have to worry about those. You focus on the trends that are either stagnated or have gone south. More so focus on the ones first that have gone south, right? And make changes. Make adjustments. Tweak things up a little bit and see how that changes things. For example, here on my YouTube channel, I saw the trends of my in-studio live streams go down the toilet. Nobody was watching them. I had 0, 1, or 2 viewers. Laugh all you want, I don't care. But I would get more traction watching. I would get more people watching and get more traction, which is what I'm trying to say, with people watching my mobile live streams, right? So I temporarily have shit-canned the in-studio live streams. Why? Because they were trending south. They weren't doing anything, right? I saw these mobile live streams trending up. Now, I still don't get a whole lot of traction on them, but I'm getting more traction than the in-studio ones. So I stopped focusing on those, right? I also started noticing that, I need to start getting some pre-recorded videos out there and start creating some YouTube shorts. And when I started doing that, I started picking up some newer subscribers. And I've been slowly and steadily gaining new subscribers. But just because you can gain some subscribers, 50, 100, 150, 200 subscribers in 30 days or 60 days, right? Doesn't mean that those people are going to, immediately start watching your content. It takes time, right? But I started looking at the trends, and anything that was trending, and you can barely see me because it's getting dark now, sorry. When I started seeing those trends go down, I started to focus on those trends and started doing things to shoot it back in the right direction. Does it mean I'm getting a whole heck of a lot of traction? No. But when I was getting 0, 1, or 2 people on my, in studio live streams, and now I've got 20 people here on my mobile live stream, that's a big difference. Even if there are only 5 or 6 people here, that's a big difference compared to 0, 1, or 2, right? I also noticed that the replay value of my mobile live streams is far greater than my in-studio live streams. I think people enjoy watching videos when I'm moving and show different scenery than have a background, like a green screen, and change the background. That's why I got my green screen, to change the background on every show, to try to, keep people coming back and not get bored. But quite honestly, it doesn't matter how many pictures you change for your background. If it's a still picture, most people, get bored of that, it seems like, right? But when you're out moving around, you're in public, you're walking, and there's different scenery, people get to see other things around you. Like, people are very visual creatures. I started making these changes instead of letting things just fall apart or giving up. And you can make these changes too, right? And again, I'm not here to tell anyone what to do or what to say, right? I'm here to help you get what you want by sharing my stories, by sharing my experiences, by sharing what works for me, and more importantly, what hasn't worked for me and how I overcame the things that didn't work for me, right? Get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. We are at 1 hour and 8 minutes. We'll be going off the air in approximately, let's say, 10 minutes or less. Maybe a little more, maybe 12 minutes, who knows. I walked my 3 laps fairly quickly. I'm pretty warm because I layered up. I got 2 long sleeve shirts on below or beneath this Columbia jacket. Now, I do have some heavier jackets. Why wouldn't I just wear one undershirt and a heavier jacket? Well, because you sweat more that way. Through trial and error, I've done something that worked for my body. I'll wear 2 thinner, longer sleeve shirts underneath, and my, it's not completely thin, but it's a thinner, more workout type of jacket, my Columbia jacket, and it's keeping me at the perfect level right now. I'm not cold, I'm not overly hot. And it's probably dipping down to the low 40s right now. Here's the thing, folks. Yeah, give me a second. Somebody's coming over there. There's only one light on. Why aren't the other lights on yet? They're probably on a timer that hasn't turned them on yet. It's in the 30s here. Well, you're in New York, Queen. It's typically colder there. Has it been snowing out in New York lately? Heading to sleep, so good night. Good night, Kelvin Clymer. Thank you so much for stopping by, my friend. Once again, happy holidays to you and your family and friends. Merry Christmas, and have a safe and sane Happy New Year 2022, brother. My best wishes. If I don't see you before the new year, I'll catch you afterwards, man. Maybe we can work on some stuff in 2022. I'm looking to collaborate with as many people as possible in 2022. Yes, it has been snowing once in a while. Yeah, typically it probably has to get down into the lower 30s or 20s of snow, right, Queen? Or even a little colder than that typically. And you're not in the higher elevation area, so you're not going to get as much, right? Anyway, folks, the best thing you can do is prioritize things in your life in order of importance. The one thing you got to take more seriously than anything else is your health. Because without your health and not being alive, you're not even alive to do anything else, right? So you got to focus on your health first, right? And the next thing you got to focus on is your safety. Your car is one of the most important things to maintain over anything else, especially if you drive a distance to go to work. You need a reliable and safe car, right? You got to prioritize that, right? And after you've taken care of your priorities and your essentials regarding your health and your safety, at that point, maybe if you have some extra money left over, you can focus on some extras, right? What a lot of women will do nowadays is they'll prioritize their fingernails, their hair, and beautifying themselves over their car being safe, right? I'm not saying that about my lady. I'm saying in general. I've seen a lot of women do that. I've even seen some men do that, right? What good is it going to be for you to look good if your car breaks down and you can't drive to go see your man, right? Well, then you're going to come back and say, well, he can come and see me. Well, sure, that's true. But because it's the modern world and women are modern and liberated, we want you to come and see us at times too. It wouldn't make it a fair two-way street if your car broke down because you prioritized painting your fingernails or doing your hair, coloring your hair, and other beautifying things over taking care of an essential item for your safety and your livelihood. Oh my gosh, that Mercedes has squeaky brakes. That means those brakes are low. And it just, you hear that? That was a Mercedes slowing down to go over a bump. Sounds like that car needs new brakes. See, that's the sign right there. What was that? You see that sound, that brake sound, that squeaky sound? That's a sign that that car needs a tune-up, needs to have the brakes inspected, right? I heard it said Queen, right? But that person is probably putting it off. Why? Because it's expensive and they're spending their money elsewhere instead of taking care of something regarding the safety of their car and others that are in that car. What if those brakes fail at 70 miles an hour on the freeway? It's not going to end pretty, right? Nobody ever thinks about this shit until it's too late, right? We put shit off and we don't prioritize the more important things. Folks, before I get on out of here, we're at 1 hour and 14 minutes, almost 1 hour and 15 minutes, right? Prioritize your health first, then prioritize your safety. And then, whatever you have left over after that, balance it out. And you'll be good, right? right? If you prioritize, you know, if you prioritize extracurricular activities or fun stuff over your health and safety, it's going to catch up to you, and it's going to bite you in the ass, right? It's going to put you in a bad position. Don't allow that to happen to yourself. All right, folks, we're at 1 hour and 15 minutes. Nice short stream today. Later on tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, another bedtime stories with Eli is coming up. And I'm going to go home and relax. And I don't think I'm going to record any other videos tonight. I have some other videos to render. Talk with my lady, eat some food, call it a night. And tomorrow you're going to get 3 videos from me. You're going to get a Rise and Shine with Eli in the morning. You're going to get a bedtime stories with Eli later on in the night, in the evening. And sometime throughout the middle of the day, you will get a very special impromptu video, about 30 minutes long or so, me kicking back on my couch and sharing a story of something that my lady went through. And it's pertaining to the topic of that video. It's not just about her, but it's just about the topic. You'll see what I'm talking about. Also, I recorded 5 YouTube shorts yesterday, and I'm probably going to start releasing those over the next couple of days. I'm doing a lot of testing. I am testing out some trends. I'm trying out some new things to see what's going to help my channel move forward. And that's what I suggest you folks do too. Try new things. Keep trying things, and you'll figure it out, and you'll move ahead in whatever you're trying to accomplish. With that being said, I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you to Queen Helen Casey for being here and putting the topic in the chat earlier. And thank you to Kelvin Clymer for being here. And thank you to anyone else that was watching here behind the scenes. Or anyone here that doesn't really like me or is here for special circumstances. Hey, I have a lot of love for you all. Hope you all had a Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you. And if I don't come live before the new year, Happy New Year. I'll probably do at least one more walking stream and maybe even an in-studio stream on New Year's Eve. We'll see. Keep it locked here and you'll find out. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye. We're out. Peace out.